So the first question up that we have here is, what is the difference between uploading KReady students and ELA preschool students? So for this particular question, what I believe they are asking is what the difference is between KRA students, the kindergarten readiness assessment students, and the ELA students, which is the early learning assessment students. So the difference with both of those is the data collection token. That right there shows which student will belong to which assessment. So when you put the KRA data collection token of 18 KRA, they will go to the kindergarten readiness assessment and have that for them to do that assessment, the teachers. The ELA assessment data collection token is the 2018 ELA 19. The next question we have here is, why do some students upload as inactive? All students which are loaded in the KReady system do show inactive until they are attached to a teacher. Once they are attached to that teacher, that is when they show active. The next question here is, can you provide examples of uploading birth dates? And for that is the simple format as it shows here is the MM/DD/YYYY. For instance, as the example shows here, is the January 9th. You want to have that leading 0, so 01/09/2013. Next question here is, why is it so difficult to add students that were not originally uploaded? That can be difficult for a number of these reasons selected here. The data collection might not be correct. You might have, for instance, KRA 18 instead of 18 KRA. The SSID is not correct for that student. Remember, SSIDs should have 2 letters and 7 digits. The student could be in a queue for a transfer. So if you have uploaded that student, it's up to that other district to accept that transfer and change that point of authority. And then the last one is the file formatting. So maybe the leading zeros just weren't there for your district IRN, or the date of birth column could have been formatted incorrectly. Now these 3 questions here is where I'm going to go live and show you a little more detail. The first one, is there any easy way to import student information? How do I add students using the bulk loader? And how do I put the data information? How do I put in the data information? So for here, what we're going to do now is I will go live. And when you are first signing in as a help desk manager, what you want to do here is you want to, the easiest way is through the bulk loader. When you're adding information, it is the easiest way. So you want to go to your bulk loader section here. You want to then select your template. Here you have the drop downs of which template. So when you're adding a student, you want to do the student template. For time purposes today, what I did is selected the required fields template. And I will show you this now. Might want to zoom that up a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. So the columns that you have here is your district ID. That's going to be your district IRN number. So for instance, if yours starts with a 0, it might show up as 0. I did format that column, but you want to make sure that it has that leading 0. Your state student ID, your school ID. That school ID can be a little tricky. People think maybe it's the school ID of that student. It is not. The school ID is the location IRN. So for instance, if you have 2 elementary schools, you want to make sure you choose the right IRN for that elementary school, which that student goes to. So I know I did not format that. So putting that leading 0, you can see that leading 0 went away. Student first and last name and date of birth. And I'm just going to do a quick run through here on file formatting. You want to highlight the column. You want to right click, select your custom, select that first 0, and then type in an additional 5 zeros. And that, you will now see the leading 0 is there. The date of birth column, as we stated earlier, is that month, day, year, year. So I simply type in that information in formatting cells, and now that will show up that way. So going back to the bulk loader, you want to then upload that file.
Carissa,
So
before you upload, make sure you remove the examples so that you don't get an error.
Yes.
There you go.
All right, resave that. Now I just have this sitting on my desktop. I'm just going to upload. I'm going to select the student template, select my file, which I knew where I put that, and select upload. Here it's getting the processing status. Another way to check, just refresh your screen. And it's going to come back 1 addition, 0, and complete. So that student is now added. Now, in order for the student to be attached to the teacher, you want to make sure that you do the enrollment file. Select your enrollment file. And again, for time purposes, I went ahead and did this as well. So that data collection token, let me move this up a little bit. Data collection token is there. That is going to be for the ELA or the KRA, I'm sorry. And it's the same information that you had for your student. Now we can see that the date of birth column is not formatted, and the B and D are the other format or columns that you want to make sure you format for the leading 0. I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing that I did on that student file. I'm going to select the whole column, right click, go down to format cells, and I'm going to custom this with the month, day, / year. Select OK. And now that has that leading 0. I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to go back and go do the exact same thing. I'm going to upload that file. Okay, so now that is still sitting in queued status. And that can happen. A file uploaded, I'm glad this actually happened. A file can be in queued status up to 24 hours. So you don't want to do the same file 5 times thinking that you might have done an error. Just be patient, walk away from it, keep hitting refresh, maybe check periodically throughout the day. If it is in queued status over 24 hours, you will want to reach out to the help desk and let them know. So if by 10:22 tomorrow, on 10:10, this file is not uploaded, you want to reach out and let us know so we can figure out what the situation might be. All right, so that concludes my portion of the loading and adding users.
Thank you, Carissa. Just want to add one more thing to that. Just want to make sure we point out that after you have formatted your file and you save that as a .csv file, please make sure that you do not open that up in Excel again, because it will remove the formatting. If you need to double check that and you want to open that, if you're on a PC, you want to open that in a text edit document, or if you're on a Mac in a notebook or something of that nature, text file, so that you can view and confirm don't open that in Excel because it will remove the formatting, and you'll have to do that process again if you're going to upload it. Otherwise, you'll receive an error when you upload your file.